In today's video, I'm gonna be breaking down a trade that I sent during New York session and also two trades that I sent the day before. So first things first, let's just delete all of this and let's start from scratch. So let's start with the trade from yesterday. So let me delete this alert as well and let's get right into it. So first things first, we're going to break down how to draw the highs and lows of days. So for example, if we are trading on, let me do this on the M5 time frame. If we are trading on the what's it called? If we're trading on Wednesday on the 8th, our high and low of day is going to be coming from Tuesday, the highest and lowest point between Frankfurt and New York session. So this is going to be the high of day right here. This is our high of day, and then our low of day is going to be this point right here, the lowest point between Frankfurt and New York session. So it's going to be this area right here, low of day. So keep in mind, guys, this is for the breakdown that we're going to be doing for the trade that I took on Wednesday first. So if we're trading on Wednesday, the high and low of day is going to be coming from Tuesday, how I mentioned to you guys. And then the previous high and previous low of day is going to be two previous trading days. So if we're trading on Wednesday, the previous high and previous low of day is going to be the highest and lowest point between from Monday, from Frankfurt to New York. So same thing, it's going to be the highest and lowest point between these sessions. And keep in mind, it has to be between Frankfurt and New York. It cannot be Asia session. And I do this on M5 time frame, guys. On M5 time frame is the most precise time frame to do it. So this is going to be our previous high of day right here, and then our previous low of day down here. And then now we're just going to go to the higher time frames real quick. So let's go to the weekly time frame. I'm going to do a top-down analysis. So on the weekly time frame, let me just mark the supply that we're coming from right here. This area right here, this previous contrary candle, this candle right here that you're going to see me highlight, this previous contrary candle that gave us this movement to the downside. You can see as soon as we interacted with this candle for the past few weeks, we've been having a bearish movement since. Excuse me. So now let's go to the daily time frame and mark our possible areas of supply and demand that we're working with on the daily time frame. And then, I'm sorry, I don't know why my throat's a little dry. So if we're looking at the daily time frame, we have this area of supply that was created after touching this weekly supply right here. Sorry, this area right here. So this is our daily supply. And then if we notice here, it looks like we touched an area of demand. I'm going to break that down right now on H4. So if we go to H4, let me show you guys this. We are working with this area of demand right here. Notice this previous contrary candle right here. This previous contrary candle right here that gave us this push into the weekly supply. Notice this is our area of demand that gave us this push into the supply. And then notice how when we touch it here, we're getting this pullback. And then here as well, here we missed it by a hair, but you can see that that's pretty much where price went to. And then here we touch it exactly. And you can see we're having a pullback. So this is what we were working with. So now let's go to the M15 time frame and let's break it down, the actual sell limits that I sent yesterday. So let's delete this. Or actually, I'll just leave this here because if I go to replay mode, I'm not going to be able to see the exact times. So notice this. The first sell limit that I sent yesterday, we'll break it down. So notice this. We are trading on this day right here. So actually, whatever, I'll just do the replay. We're trading this day right here. So I sent a sell limit first. I hit stop loss, and then the second sell limit literally played off our 1 to 4. It didn't activate my order because it literally missed by a pip. But most of you guys told me that you entered once you saw your limit didn't activate, or some of you guys had your sell limit before, so you were able to capitalize off that move. But you guys are going to see how precise the entry methods are. So just keep this in mind. So keeping in mind that yesterday we had red folder news that we see the volume come in from right here. Notice how pretty much. Let me actually go to a higher time frame so you guys can see. So if we're just looking at the M5 time frame, pretty much, or actually M15. Just seeing this right here pretty much yesterday, you can see that price, we had this area of supply right here. I actually literally mentioned this exactly to the T on my story before it happened, and this is what happened. So if you guys follow me on Instagram, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I posted an analysis like when price was right around here, saying that price was working with this area right here of supply that was created during Asia. You can see how price was using it right here. And then I said that more than likely we're going to break past this area of supply, pull back to this low of day to continue the sell movement. So let's break this down to a T. So price breaks past this area. You can see that pretty much on M1, now that we're keeping this in mind, you can see I'm pretty much on M1 right before the news came in. Sorry, excuse me. I think I have I was starting to get a sore throat. Gotta drink some vitamin C out here. So Notice how pretty much all this volume came in right when the news opened. So pretty much I marked this area of supply right here, this area right here, this previous contrary candle, this supply that was created pretty much literally right beneath this low of day, and they gave us this push to the downside, and I sent a sell limit like this sell limit right here, like that. And then you can see that we obviously hit stop loss. So then I sent a re-entry, and I'm gonna break down the re-entry, and you can see how precise this is. But I want you guys to understand why I placed a sell limit here, so it's not just a loss. Like, you guys actually understand why I placed it as still a valid trade. It just hit stop loss. So keep in mind, guys, this is a numbers game. The strategy is correct, just you're not going to be winning 100% of the times. You might win 60%, 50% of the times, but your risk to reward is what's going to make you profitable. So this was a valid trade right here. We had pretty much touched the low of day. We got this volume that came in. We literally, the supply was right beneath the low of day. So if it would have touched the low of day and continued to move into the downside, our stop loss would have been fine. So price broke past this area here, and where did price pull back to? If we go to M15, I'm going to show you guys exactly what price did. And this is where the re-entry was sent from. Notice how we have this previous contrary candle that gave us this push right here into this area of demand. So we have this area of supply a little bit higher right here, and we just mark it like that. And then notice how on M1, price literally touches this M15 supply to the pip. And this is the M1 confirmation that I always tell you guys and you guys ask me about. So this is it right here. We touch a M15 supply on M1, and then notice how we create a new supply right here. This previous contrary candle that gave us this push to the downside is letting us know that this supply is valid. We didn't just break above it. So notice this new supply created right here after touching the M15 supply, or like that. And then I sent a sell limit right here. Literally, I always place my sell limit 1 pip beneath, and it still didn't activate. Literally, it was like by spread, it didn't activate. But this was the second trade I sent that you can see played out something like this, like that. So you guys could actually see like this one, obviously we did hit stop loss. This was literally the re-entry M15 supply, M1 confirmation. As you can see, literally sometimes the entries are too precise and they don't hit, so you have to place your sell limit a little bit beneath it. But this would have been a valid super like re-entry. So now that we have these two entries explained, let's go into the trade that I called today. Let me see how long this video is. Okay, so this video is already 7 minutes long, so let me try to wrap this up. So let's do this now. Let's get out of this replay mode, and I'm gonna break down exactly the trade from today. So now that you guys saw me mark the highs and lows of days for when we were trading on Wednesday, you guys are gonna see how I mark them for Thursday that I was trading today. So let's do this. Now that we're trading on Thursday morning, this is how I prep my chart. So we delete this previous low of day right here. We delete the previous high of day right here. And then the high of day becomes the previous high of day. Previous high of day. And then the low of day right here. This low of day becomes the previous low of day. And then let's just delete this M15 supply that we already touched. And then since we're trading on Thursday, the high and low of day is going to be coming from Wednesday. The highest and lowest points between Frankfurt and New York session. You guys are going to see how specific these points are right now. So here we go. This is going to be our high of day right here. And then okay, perfect. And then this is going to be our low of day right here. Low of day right here. Okay, so just by marking this real quick, I'm going to show you guys today's trade and explain in detail like how perfect it was. So I literally posted on my story today saying that it was very likely, or actually I sent it in the free Telegram. I didn't post it on my story. I told you guys last night, right before London opened, I sent my analysis for London. And I told you guys that we had this void right here. So it was very likely we're going to fill this void, possibly pull back somewhere like to, honestly, this previous contrary candle. And we'll probably get a sell movement from this area. But right now we're definitely going to fill this void. But we're just not going to buy at random areas. We have to trade what's presented in our session. So yes, we could be anticipating on a long-term, a bullish move, but if a bearish movement is presented in the session that I'm trading, I'm going to take that trade because I'm a scalper. I don't swing trade. I'm like a scalper intraday trader. So I'm going to show you guys the opportunity that I took today, and I actually sent the sell limit and you guys were able to capitalize off of it as well. So let's go over it. As you guys know as well, I always sit down at around 8:30 to do my analysis and trade New York session. And the first thing I noticed when I sat down to do my analysis is that on M5 time frame, let me show you guys this. We have this high of day right here, right? And then you can see how pretty much it looks like price literally it looks like price manipulated above the high day and then created this area of supply right here. Notice this previous contrary candle before this push right here. So notice this. Imagine this. I sit down to do my analysis here at 8:30 and I'm presented with this. Literally, I see this area of supply with this high of day right beneath it. They gave us this push to the downside that literally broke this low. These lows are here. And then I'm anticipating, obviously, when I come to the chart, I see this area of supply with the high of day, and I'm going to take the sell from here. This is a very valid area, especially with this high of day right here. So I sent the sell limit, and we were able to close. I closed with the 2 times my risk. Some people closed almost 3 times their risk, but this was the trade right here. It was literally perfect, like literally no drawdown at all. This was the trade right here. It looked something like this. Not something like this. It was actually literally this. These were the parameters for the trade. You can see that the take profit was literally pretty much right beneath the previous low of day. And this is this was the perfect entry right here. M5 supply and our high of day right beneath it. And literally we had all this volume that coming in from here. So you can see that this was a valid area. We broke structure, we had volume, and we had the high of day. And then obviously you can see that price literally just after we touch this area of supply, we pretty much just pulled back into this area of demand to continue the movement. But we're obviously going to, why did I take this trade? Because this is a valid trade. If I didn't take this trade right here, honestly, I probably wouldn't have taken the only other valid entry that I see right here. If we wouldn't have taken this sell movement right here, would probably be this trade right here. But that's not what I was presented with at the time when I sat down. So that's why we took the sell movement. But notice this right here. This area of demand with the previous low of day in the middle. You can tell that right around 11 o'clock, this is past my trading time. Notice how price touched this area of demand right here. And then we can see that this is where the movement is coming up to fill the void. But notice, guys, this is what I tell you guys. Do not be stuck on a bias. Yes, we are on a bullish bias. But if an opportunity presents itself, notice how perfect this trade was. Literally a 5-minute trade that gave us 2 times our risk. So don't stick to a bias. Be an opportunist, I don't know if that's the right word, but take advantage of every opportunity. So don't just come and sit to the chart and have a stuck bias. Trade whatever is presented for yourself. Because if I would have been stuck on the buys, I would have missed this opportunity. I wouldn't have took a trade because the buy opportunity was presented at 11, and literally by 9 o'clock in the morning I was out already. So take advantage, guys. Let me leave you guys a little bit of sauce right here in this video. So not to end the video like that, I want to drop some sauce for you guys apart from all sauce that I just dropped right here. So just some quick tips, guys. So whenever you see an area of high or low of day and an area of supply or demand that was created where a big push came from on pre-New York, just know that New York is more than likely going to use that area, and that is a valid area. That's why I took it without an M1 confirmation, because we had the high of day, we had this M5 supply. And if I go to M15, there was also M15 supply right here. Notice this candle right here. So it was literally perfect confluence. The only trades that I will take without an M1 confirmation is if it's an M5 supply from pre-New York, which it was, or if it's a M5 supply created on New York with the same thing, same concepts, but it has to be a supplier demand created from pre-New York or New York. It can't not be a session from before. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. We're able to pick up some sauce, and I'll see you on the next one.